Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Kissinger at the Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York. And this is 5th grade math module 5, lesson 7. We're going to be solving word problems involving the volume of rectangular prisms with the whole number edge lengths. So we're going to kind of do what we've been doing with solving these problems with volume, but we're going to be doing them in the form of word problems. And it's kind of like one big word problem this lesson. It's going to be a multi-step problem. But we'll start with this number 1. It says, Ren makes some rectangular display boxes. Ren's first display box is 6 inches long, 9 inches wide, and 4 inches high. What is the volume of the display box? Explain your work using a diagram. So I'm going to draw this box as best I can. We're going to have 6 inches long, 9 inches wide, and 4 inches high. So I'll make my length 6. I have to go up 4. That'll be my front surface here. I need to go back 9. Kind of run out of room here, but okay. All right. So there's the display box. And I'm going to label my sides. So I have 6 inches here. I have 4 inches here. And then this way here is 9 inches. All right. And it's asking us what the volume is. So we're looking for the length times the width times the height. I'm for my formula right up here. Volume equals length times width times height. And I'm just going to plug in my numbers. So I'm going to do 6 inches times 9 inches times 4 inches. I like to do two of the multiply 2 of them first. I'll do 6 times. Let's do 6 times 9 first. 6 times 9, and that'll give me 54 inches. So it'll give me 54 square inches because that's going to give me the surface of like the top of this or the bottom of it, the area of that surface. And then I need to multiply that by the 4-inch height. So I need to do 54 times 4. When I do 54 times 4, let's do it this way. We'll break that into 50 times 4 and 4 times 4, and we'll add them up. So I'll do kind of like a little area model down here. So I have 4, and then I have 50, and I have 4. 50 times 4 is 200, and 4 times 4 is 16, and then I'll add those two together, and I'll get 216. And that's going to be in square or cubic inches, so inches cubed. And I'll write my answer since this is a word problem. Say the volume is 216 cubic inches. All right, so let's move on to this number 2 here. It says Ren wants to put some artwork into 3 shadow boxes. She knows they all need a volume of 60 cubic inches, but she wants them all to be different. Show 3 different ways Ren can make these boxes by drawing diagrams and labeling the measurements. So we need 60 cubic inches. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break that into like a shadow box is kind of like a picture frame, but it's a little bit like wider than a picture frame, has some depth to it. So we probably want like either 1 or 2 inches deep, maybe 3. So we'll start with our depth, and then we'll try to figure out what we want our surface to be, what their surface area to be of our shadow box. So I know I want my first measurement. Let's do a 1-inch deep shadow box on this one. So we'll have our shadow box here, which will be like a square. Like I said, sort of like a picture frame. And this time, I'm not going to make the depth all that much, the width here. I'm going to make this measurement right here 1 inch. 1, yep. So if that's 1 inch, I know that this surface needs to be 60 square inches in order to give me 60 cubic inches, because when I multiply by my width, my number won't change. I'm multiplying by 1. So I have, and you can kind of imagine little 1-inch cubes here. The amount of the area on the surface is going to be the same number. The number of squares I have on the surface will be the same number of 1-inch cubes I have beneath the surface there. And I have to do 2 measurements. I have like one here, which is going to be my height, and one here that's my length, that are going to equal 60 when I multiply them together. So let's do, let's see, how about 6 and 10? That's a nice easy one. That'll give me 60. So I have 6 inches, and I have 10 inches, and I have 1 inch. 6 times 10 times 1 equals 60. Inches cubed. For our second one, let's change our depth. So these are not going to be to scale, but we'll get the right idea here. Make this a little bit deeper this time. And instead of doing 1 inch, now we're going to call this measurement 2 inches here. Now that we have 2 inches, we need to multiply by something that'll give us 60. So we multiply 2 by 30, and that will give us 60. So I know that this is going to be 30 square inches for my area. And then I just need to find 2 sides that will multiply to give me 30. So I could do 6 and 5. I could do 15 and 2. This looks a little bit closer to like 6 and 5, so we'll call it that. We'll call it 6 and 5. 6 inches and 5 inches. And this is my width here. So my width equals 2 inches, my height equals 5 inches, and my length equals 6 inches. And that's going to give me 60 cubic inches, because 6 times, well, we'll start with I'll keep it all consistent here. 5 times 6 times 2 equals 60. That's going to be cubic inches. All right, I'm going to need one more here. This time, I'm going to change my width one more time. We could change one of our other dimensions. We could use the same width and try to find use a different dimension, but we're going to change our width again. Then we can make 3 different depths for these shadow boxes. This one looks like I'm going to have 3 inches this way. So I have 3 inches, and 3 times something equals 60. That's going to be 20 square inches. And then I just need to find 2 of these numbers that add to 20, or that multiply to 20. So let's do 4 inches. And on this side, we'll do 5 inches. And when we multiply 4 times 5 times 3, we'll get 60 cubic inches. All right, I think we have time for one more here. It says, Ren wants to build a box to organize her school or scrapbook supplies. She has a stencil set so, that is 12 inches wide that needs to lay flat in the bottom of the box. The supply box must also be no taller than 2 inches. Name one way she could build a supply box with a volume of 72 cubic inches. So we're kind of going to do the same thing here. We need 72 inches altogether. It can't be taller than 2 inches, and it needs to be at least 12 inches wide for the stencil to fit in the bottom of the box. So if I want to make it 72 inches, that could still, it says it can be no taller than 2 inches. So let's go with 1 inch. That'll make it really easy. We'll go 1 inch tall, and we'll go 12 inches wide. So the stencil will just barely fit on the bottom there. So we have this way, will give us 1 inch. This way here will be 12 inches. And then 12 times something will give us 72 for our volume. We got to figure out what that something is. So we have 12 times whatever this number will be here. So we'll do 72 divided by 12. Well, we have 12 times 5 will give us 60. And then another 12 would be 72. So we can find it that way. Or we could use that area model again. I like using the area model for multiplication. So we have 10 and 2 for 12, and we have 70 and 2 for 72. Oh, we have to divide. This isn't going to work for us this time. So yeah, probably the easiest way would be just to figure out my the 12s that I know. I can do 12, then I can add another 12, and I can go, that's 24. But I know that 12 times 5 is 60. 60 minutes on a clock. And 12 is the top number on the clock. So I can do, this is 7 times, or 12 times 6. Or times 5, excuse me. 12 times 5 is 60. So if I add another 12 to that, 12 times 6 would equal 72. So I know that this side will be 6 inches. And I can check by doing multiplication. I can do 6 times 1 times 12. And if I was unsure about that, that's where I can use my area model. And I'm just going to have 2 sections of my area model here. I'm going to have 1, it's 10, and then 1 over here that's 2. And I'm going to multiply by 6. 10 times 6 is 60. 6 times 2 is 12. I add those two together, and that's going to give me 72. So it's asking us, name one way she could build the supply box with a volume of 72 cubic inches. We could do 1 inch, 1 inch by 12 inches by 6 inches. And that would equal 72 cubic inches. All right, and that's where we're going to stop for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.